Maverick entrepreneurs, what's going on? Hey, just going through some of our homework. Realized, man, I'm really gonna hit these core values. I want to make sure. I noticed the part two got posted first. Just working this out. So this is really part one. I know that you received your homework. If some of you are lost, I want to go through with it. It's such an important thing, and it can't be looked at lightly. So I really want to just give you a little training on exactly how to implement core values and what around me. Maybe you know, but really, you got your homework. In that homework, the core values, the exercise of it is getting some insights on who you be. So it says, please send core values sheet to 7 friends, have them circle 7 to 10 core values. Those are words. So you might not know their core values. They're just words that you may be getting described, and hopefully you got those word sheets. But it's all these different words. And what you're going to do, you're going to send that out to 7 to 10, 7 minimum, 10 maximum. So you're going to give those out to people that are close to you. Even if you're close to your parents, great. Your spouse, coworkers. And when you hand it to them, say, hey, yeah, I'd really like you to fill this out and circle words that you think describe me. And in essence, what you're going to do is you're going to get 7 to 10 of these sheets back. You're going to collect them, and then you're going to get a blank piece of paper, and you're going to write out every word that they circled. You're going to write out. And so let's just say I did it for you, and you're going to write my 7 words that I circled that I thought about you. Then you're going to get your best friends. And if him and I or her and I have the same word, you're just going to put a dash next to it. So that if that word keeps coming up, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what happens is if you get down to a point where there's some words that could mean the same or they could have a different meaning, you can call that person and go, hey, is this word what you meant or this other word? Say you have 2 words that are similar, like ages. Now, do they mean strong as physical strong, or they just think you're a strong personality or courageous person? So you just want to get interpretation, because some of these words, some of your friends, you could interview them, might mean the same thing if you're seeing repetition around the same idea of a word. But then you're going to get your 7 words. You're going to narrow it down. How do you know? It's the top ones that people kept mentioning. And you'd be shocked. I've been doing this for about 10 years. The same words keep popping up. It's unbelievable. So then you take those words, you put it together, you write your list of 7 to 10, and then you just go, wow, these are what my closest people think about me. Whether you like it or not, that's what this people that are the closest to you. And you have a decision to make. You're like, yeah, that's who I am, or that's who I'm not. But it is who you are. If you don't like some of the core values of these people who are describing you, you got to change who you be, how you show up for people. But I think you're going to like it. It's a very positive experience. But then what do you do with them? You take those words, you think about them. You're like, how do these words show up in my life? And you define them, you write them out. You really get specific with even now a definition of what does that mean to me. And I know in my other video, I had my calendars, my placemats, and we were talking about the placemats. And so not only did I have the word, I had it defined for my family. So with that being said, once you go through this all, and you get those exercises back, and I hope you're posting them. I'd love to see everyone's core values posted, and those are just you. Now, what happens is the other core value areas are ones that you create. So why do you come up with your baseline core values? That's what people are already thinking, knowing, and respecting you about, and then it's how you live into those more intentionally. And what happens is it's if you're living incongruent or congruent. So every new decision you make, you go back and be like, well, this is what everybody knows about me. Am I staying in alignment with these values? Alignment's true, because when people deviate from their values that everyone knows them from, they start to have internal dialogue, insecurities come up, fear comes up. Oh, what's going on with that person? Or you realize that you're not living intentionally. I had a very interesting conversation with a lady yesterday who's separated from her husband, and I'm walking her through it. But what happened was, great Christian woman, uh, and she was the good submissive wife, but she didn't even know what she liked, didn't know what she wanted, didn't even know who she was. And she started doing this sort of stuff, personal development. And it started cracking up, finding her confidence, finding her mojo, finding like, I am a strong, powerful woman. I do have something to say. She started showing up that way. Well, guess what? Her husband wasn't used to it. Her father-in-law wasn't used to it. Her kids weren't used to it. They thought mom was going off the rails. No, you know what it was? She was discovering that she was just living 40 something years incongruent in a marriage, because she was that beautiful, submissive wife that just did yes, sir. But God didn't create women to say yes, sir. They're our helpmate, and it's a beautiful partnership, but they have a voice. But as going through core values, she's discovering, I do have value. I do have core values. I do have beliefs. And she's not going to leave them. She's committed, but he's going to realize, man, he's married to a powerhouse, and he's got to develop himself, because she's developing herself on self-discovery, and there's nothing wrong with that. Fear is the greatest limiting belief people have, and it locks them down, and we come in to break fear. 2 Timothy 1:7, I did not give you a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and self-discipline. My question is, do you feel like you walk in power? Do you feel like you walk in love? And do you feel like you have self-discipline? Well, if you're doing the Maverick Entrepreneur, you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to have self-discipline. So self-discipline is really, why don't we do self-discipline in alignment with who we be? Because every time you're living incongruent, the level of incongruencies in your life, the level of areas that you're not congruent, the level of incongruencies in your life, inconsistencies in your life will be the level of destruction in your life, because you'll be pulled apart. Okay? If you say this, but you show up like this, it's going to rip you apart. If you say you're a believer, but your life doesn't look like it, it's going to rip you apart. If you say you love somebody, but you don't act like it, it's going to rip you apart. It's living incongruent. How do I know? When people get sick, so I rarely get sick. I've had food poisoning a couple of times. I don't get sick. And the reason I don't get sick is because I live with my core values. So subconsciously, your immune system gets suppressed when you're living incongruent. So sick people that are sick all the time, I know that they have core value issue. I mean, your body's amazing. Your body just speaks the truth. So if your body's sick, it's because your mind's sick. If your mind's sick, it's because you're probably living a life. You want to be one person, but you're living another. And a lot of people are like that. They want to be successful, but they have a poverty mindset that they haven't recognized yet. That's a generational curse that hasn't been broken off them yet. Where do you come from? Like, don't be in denial how your parents are or their grandparents are. Don't judge them, but don't be in denial about it. You know, I knew exactly where I came from, and I have to be intentional about overcoming those things that my parents weren't, because maybe they didn't know. And self-discovery, self-development wasn't as big as it is now. Now we have all the opportunities, the trainings to do these things. How bad do you want it? It starts right here with core values. Core. This is the core of who we are. And so you got to understand that once you get those back, then you go back and revisit a couple other things. One of them, do your core values. You get your baseline. Please post them. And then I want a conversation around it, because did that change your personal purpose? My personal purpose for life is blank. My business purpose is blank. My catalyzing statement for who I be is blank. And then here's some questions I just want to stimulate you with. And maybe I'll send over a sheet. I'll make one up. What is the most important? What will be the most important for you to achieve by the end of the next calendar year? What's something that's on your heart? Because I want you to understand, when you get the core values right, I need you to start thinking like this. Because when you line up core values with your personal purpose, boom, it's a slingshot. When you line up core values with your business purpose, boom, it's a slingshot. So then think, what will be the most important thing to achieve by the next calendar year? Next question, what will be the most important for you to achieve in the next decade? The 2020 vision's coming, people. We're in it. What's your 2020 vision? What 3 words will encapsulate this next season for you? Mine is advance. I don't even go to marriage retreats anymore. I go to marriage advances. My word right now is advance. My word is multiplication. My word is abundance. AVA. Come on. Let's do this. You got to be a part. I'm not part of the AMA, but you know what I'm saying. What are the themes for this coming decade? Do you have themes in your life? Where will you be in 10 years from today? Describe your life as clearly as possible. If you can see it, you can achieve it. If you can describe, where am I going to be in 10 years? Oh, man, I'm telling you, I'm writing mine right now. So I'm doing this whole thing, 2020 vision. I'm writing it all out, going to the BVI, sitting on catamarans, goal setting every single day. Going to be with my bride, with some of my closest friends, and we are going to process out the next decade of life, where I want to be in 10 years. You don't think I'm going to get intentional? I'm going to get more intentional than I've ever been. That's good tea. Be true. Come on. So let's get back to the core values. So family, you're going to set some family values that are super important. You're then going to set some parenting values, and then social life values are super important. I gave you a bunch of categories. How you do money, core values, super important. Business, okay? All these things are super important, and I put them in here for you. You got your worksheets. You got to understand that if you don't do this, it's not going to work out for you. So I just want to give you an idea of when you get those first ones back. If you need help, jump on the group. Let's define them. The second one is you definitely have to get core values, like how do you invest? So around money, around your social life, around your parenting if you have kids, around relationships. If you're single, you definitely want core values. Core values, what type of woman do you want, or what type of man do you want? And define it, and do not compromise. Your life will suck if you compromise. And I just think that too many people, when I talk to them about where they invest their money, they go, wherever a good deal is. What's that have to do with anything? Whatever a good deal is. Like, I don't invest in pharmaceutical companies, and I probably could have been retired a millionaire, but it just goes against my core values. Why would I invest in the Antichrist to me? My whole life is, can I put them out of business? And I'm going to go invest money because they make money off fear, off sickness, off disease. Well, why would I invest in a pharmaceutical company? Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to only invest in Christians. I mean, sometimes Christians are whack jobs. So I'm not going to invest in them. I'm going to invest in who has values that line up with me. What are my values? What do I think about where I put my money? Because where I put my money is seed in soil, and I'm a part of it. So I don't do things to make money. I do things to add value to other people's lives. I have everyone come in and tell me the newest supplement or the newest bed to sell or the newest that. I just go, hey, let's go look at my core values. And when they start telling me all theirs, I go, yeah, that doesn't line up. That doesn't line up. They're like, you're making a decision based off some poster on a wall? I was like, I created that poster. And yes, I am. See you later. Peace be with you. Or don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you. Listen, all these things. So the core values, when you learn to live it, you live a very congruent life, a very successful life, a very grounded life, a very balanced life, a very prosperous life, a life in momentum, a life that is congruent, a life where everybody knows. Like, everybody knows that my values, my marriage, don't call me on a Thursday night, I have date night. Well, if everybody knows that, you don't have to feel bad. In the beginning, when you set up boundaries, nobody's going to like it. You're going to get crap. People are going to be pissed. Like, oh, why you change so much? Oh, you think you're better than us? No, I don't. You can do exactly what I'm doing. People say that all the time. Oh, do you think you're better? No. But I just wrote up values that I live by. and you like going to strip joints, and I don't. Just a value. Why are you offended? I won't go with you. I'm not offended you're going. That's your life. If you want to give away your singles, go for it. I mean, you got to understand where this shows up to you all the time. I would go on bachelor trips all the time. I just have core values of what I'm going to put in my mind on a bachelor trip. I'm not judging. You want to go hire a stripper or you want to go do this? I'm not judging. But I don't know how that's going to help your marriage, honor your bride, how it's going to do any of that stuff. Now, it's just a core value I have. I'm not going to go. You're going to invite me on your trip. Listen, I'll go to Vegas. I'll buy dinner. I'll drink the best. I'll do whatever. But I'm not doing that. What are my values? Values-based decision-making will save many conversations and help you in life and free you up. So listen, I'm going to pray that you get this exercise done, that you please post it. You can make posters of it. Listen, I have it on my menus. I have it on a wall. Our family Hubbard core values is different than my personal core values. Some are in alignment, but they're just up on a wall that we can go, this is how we show up in life. And guess what? They're up on a wall when I'm playing pool with my boys. This is how the Hubbards show up in life. And if we don't show up, we're living incongruent. So it's just reminders like this is how I have to show up every day, whether I feel like it or not. Core values. Values-based decision making will make you successful. You will keep more money, retain more money, make better decisions making. See this calendar right here? That wheel right there is all the business things I do every month. Down here are all my instructions to anybody that reads my calendar, okay, of what we do every month. This is all based on my business core values, and I'll be teaching on this. Super important. Hey, you guys are Maverick entrepreneurs. Wrap your head around it. Love life. Do life with amazing people. Don't settle. And I'll tell you, if your friendships aren't in alignment with your core value, you ready for this? It's time to get new friends that are in alignment. Your friends are either an elevator, they're going to take you up or pull you down. And I'm telling you, get friends with an only up switch like an escalator. We're going up, baby. And the truth is, I've had friends for a long time and I love them. There's not in my life that much, but I still love them. I'll go get a coffee with them. I'll catch up with them. But my friendships add value to my life because I add value to theirs. And guess what? We always want to be sharpening one another. Don't settle on friendships. You got a whining, complaining friend, I'll drop them like a bad habit because you know what? My friends know better. Listen, we have crap that we walk through. I'm not insensitive. I'll walk through any crap with any of my friends. But at the core of them, they know life is perpetuating forward and they want better for their lives. And I want to surround myself with Maverick entrepreneurs with incredible friendships, incredible relationships, incredible love affairs, incredible marriages, incredible kids that have a destiny and a purpose for their life. Those are the people I want to be around. So listen, God bless. Have a great day and implement those. Get online, post about them. Let's see what you got. Love you. Boom.